Good evening, everybody. My name's Tom Stoukas, coming to you live from Sarnia, Ontario, on this Wednesday evening, May 28th, 2025. I hope everybody's having a nice night. It was gray today all day. It's been gray. I'm starting to think they're gonna they all these stories about this great uh, climate event in the world that's gonna kill us all. It's like it feels that way because the whole month of May, it's been like the sun's been blocked out. It's weird, and yeah, if that happens, like they said, like civilization would be destroyed and all that. Like if the Earth's magnetic field and all that would be screwed, you know, out. It wouldn't. It would if continents are moving it back and forth. You wouldn't. Nothing you could do about it. You'll be just part of the history of lost civilizations. But anyway, the sun was has been blocked a lot lately. Uh, so since we were last on, we had the Parliament resume in Canada, and our King Charles came to open the Parliament. He flew all the way here. Obviously, he came to show the Americans that we're not getting taken over. So that was the kind of the purpose of his visit. I mean, he's getting old. He's looking a little rough from the cancer, I think, because he had trouble. I think with that's like the speech wasn't that long, but anyway, it was more, I guess, the symbolism of him coming over. I'm not really a fan of him, but it was interesting seeing all the people there, like Trudeau and Harper, and all the various dignitaries. So, what did he say? What do they have planned for us? Obviously, Carney's smarter than Trudeau. Like he instead of like Trudeau focus on all the crazy stuff, like the obviously the weed legalization, but then after that the crazy stuff like DEI and LGBTQ everything and all this and immigration, obviously. So this one was more of a little more boring, common sense uh, throne speech for the liberals. But the question is, what's he gonna? Are they gonna do any of it, or are they gonna screw us over? But what I see in real life every day in Sarnia here, it's not looking very promising. Just horrible stuff. Like still lots of problems on the road. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to, if they're just talking, and as Canada declines, because it's declining a little bit. So obviously the first thing they want to do is a new relationship with the U.S. So we're going to be negotiating with the U.S. and Trump kind of threw a curveball at the at Carney, saying the Golden Dome, which to protect us from missile attack. If we want to be part of it, it's going to cost us 60 billion, or we could just be part of the states. And we're considering the offer, and apparently we're not considering the offer. But it's kind of funny. Trump keeps trolling Carney, so he probably figures, I got him elected. I can troll him whenever I want. So this Golden Dome thing, pretty interesting. It's going to be expensive as hell. That could be one of his little negotiating tactics. It's going to be expensive as hell. Like 60 billion is probably the the low ball figure. And then yeah, the relationship with the United States. And then the next thing is removing barriers to interprovincial trade. Blah blah blah. I don't think that's going to happen. They talk a big game, but there's so many regulations between provinces. Like for instance, I'll give you a good one. When you go from Ontario to Manitoba, there if you have like cartons of cigarettes, because in Manitoba the cigarettes are very expensive, um, like hugely expensive, ahead of Ontario at least. So there was a lot of smuggling going on, interprovincial smuggling, and literally there's if you cross into Manitoba and you have even a carton, they can pull you over and see and bug you and take your smokes. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good example, but I don't think they're going to get rid of any of that stuff, to be honest. I think they're all talk. I mean, they had decades to do it, and they didn't do it. So, anyway, that's one of their things. Removing interprovincial trade barrier, sorry. All right. Next is bringing down costs for Canadians. Obviously, that's got to happen, or else uh, people are gonna get like start rioting because they can't go to the grocery store, pay their hydro bill, whatever. Uh, so obviously inflation. So he's got a lot. He's got to, you know, we'll see if it keeps getting worse. But it's funny. Just as he was saying that in Parliament, um, Loblaws Loblaws coming out saying, "Oh, there's going to be some huge price increases in the supermarket because of tariffs or something." So it's like, what? That doesn't sound good because we already got nicked a lot at the supermarket as it was, and now they're saying it's going to go up more because of tariffs. So we got to look into this. Like, I'm going to look into this. It's funny. I had to pay. Like, I get this baby cream for my kid. It was doctor recommended, and apparently it's made in North Carolina. So now this little tube that I got was like $13, and now it's like 17. So I'm a little victim of this trade war. And yeah, I could switch lotions. I'm sure there's a Canadian manufacturer of something, but she likes. I can't. I'm not switching it. If you have kids, Okay, but the point is what the hell, man? Like, why are we even tariffing the products? We're just punishing ourselves. They're punishing me. Like, I'm sure I pay tariffs on a lot of other stuff. But anyway, Loblaw says food prices are going to go up. So here's Carney saying in the throne speech he wants to make cost of living more affordable, but Loblaws is saying they're going up the prices. So I don't think people are going to be happy if the law if the supermarket goes up more as it is. Housing is another thing. Um, that's a big thing. Like, the housing market could collapse, or could. I don't know. I'm not very good for. I thought when COVID came, the housing market would collapse. Instead, it went the other way. Of course, my luck. And I think I doubled. So I don't know what it's gonna do, but they've been calling for a housing collapse for a long time. But the scary thing with Canada is how big the housing sector is in the economy. Like, it's weird. Like, for me, I always thought housing should be like like shelter and a way for family wealth to accumulate. Like, I know in Greece, my parents are from Greece. Apartments are held in families for, like, my uncle still lives in the same apartment. They did since the 80s, or no, since the 90s. And another uncle, the same thing. Because it's not like a commodity where you trade and buy and trade. It's more of a place where you live. But in Canada, it's a commodity. It's very commoditized, or a lot of real estate speculation. And yeah, that's a mess too, the housing. And I don't think the Liberals are going to fix it. If anything, they'll make it worse. So I'm not very hopeful on that. Protecting Canadian sovereignty by strengthening the armed forces. Well, first of all, nobody wants to join the armed forces because it's gay. It puts you in what are they putting? Are they pads? oh God, what the hell do they use? What the hell are they called? Pads, whatever. Women's hygiene products in the men's washrooms in the army. So it's like, yeah, you're not gonna get the caliber, the killer, the killers that you need to be in the army. So yeah, they're gonna pump up the army. I don't know what the hell that they're gonna do with that, but oh. Okay, what's next? Immigration. Reduce immigration to sustainable levels. So basically, Trudeau destroyed Canada with immigration, and now they're going to put it down to sustainable levels. But that's the key is like full. The gate was open for 10 years. And basically, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 million people here now that aren't permanent but don't want to leave. And then you got hundreds of thousands, actually a million a year, over a million a year if you count permanent residents, new permanent residents, um, visas, and refugees, and temporary workers. That's over a million a year, plus the several million that are already here. Okay, so you could argue that with Trudeau, they already accomplished their goal, and he bore the brunt of it. Basically, 10 years of unfettered immigration. Um, and, we've made it an attractive place to come besides the weather. It's been attractive to come for, benefits and chance of getting accepted. So he's made it very attractive. And now he's gone, so now they can blame him for all the damage, and then they could just keep bringing an old million and a half a year down from, but it's still a million and a half a year, like, and like over 30%, let's say, are from India. That's like, and more. It could go more, but that's another thing. Like, don't have much faith in Mark Carney, ultra globalist, to fix immigration. Like when he says his idea of sustainable is not necessarily my idea of sustainable. And then the other one last is spending government, because the federal government spends a lot of money, and there's probably a lot of money being stolen and wasted and like duplicated, because the provincial level probably could do it without the federal government's interference. A lot of the times the federal government's just doling out money for provincial programs and municipal programs. So anyway, that's all he said in the throne speech. I'm not really faithful at all. The tone is good. It sounds great, but there's problems with all of those things. Like they're in such bad shape. The housing, the employment, the immigration, the criminal, the housing. I said that housing, whatever. So he's got a lot of work cut out for him, and he didn't really mention the like the oil industry. He's kind of like calling it energy superpower, but a clean energy. He'll slip in there, but whatever. We'll see. The interesting thing will be see what, like, we already know their stance on immigration. They're calling it sustainable, 1.5 million a year, whether it's permanent residents, refugees, workers, students. But you gotta understand too, those 1.5 million are gonna most likely stay. As long, and then add 1.5 million each year, you get the picture. Anyway, so that doesn't sound sustainable to me. So, but I think the real measure of what Carney's going to do and how bad he's going to do it, if he's going to screw us good, is the legislation that he puts forward. I'm sure he's got some good ones lined up for us. Um, and, that's what you judge, the government, like what their actions. And I don't know what they're going to bring us, like internet censorship or who knows. They're talking about the military with Europe and increasing military spending because it's like gearing up to continue the war against Russia, Ukraine. So that'll be another thing to watch on like foreign policy. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of bills he puts forward, what like his top priorities will be in these bills. And I mean, it's still too early to tell, but I wasn't really optimistic for either party, so I'm still in that position. I'm just waiting to see what happens. And, but like, I don't see it getting better. I mean, see the city going to shit. You hear all the other cities. Like, I heard in fucking Durham, they're stealing the copper from people's air conditioning. So, like, you think you're safe. You think nobody's going to touch the air conditioner. See, Durham police are warning Oshawa residents about growing number of copper from AC units. It's like, can you imagine summer and some son of a bitch steals your copper? Oh, man. You got to lock up your air conditioning unit now. There's a lot of air conditioning units. A lot of copper out there, man. So, yeah, that's the stuff I see and I hear about. I don't hear about Mark Carney's beautiful vision. I see disaster. Maybe I'm trying not to be negative, but I'm sorry. Like I saw a story there's about drug use in the parks is rampant and stuff. It's like, man, I better not see anybody going when I'm at the park because it's not going to be pretty. I know they say call the police, but yeah, what are the police going to do? They really need. It sounds a little bit vigilante, but so. Anyway, like the point is, I don't see around me the vibe. Like I see this homeless shelter. We got this homeless shelter just down the road, and it kind of sprung up out of nowhere. They kind of lied about it and said, "Oh, this is just a temporary overflow for the winter," and then next thing you know, it's still open and it's like summer or spring, and it's just now that they tried to build like a permanent place there with like supportive services. So it's just like Walking Dead down there now. Like I have sympathy for them, but the whole area is turning into Walking Dead Canada version, Sarnia version. Like seriously, if you want to film Walking Dead here, you just have to go down to Exmouth, and you're good. You know, you don't even need any makeup or anything. No, seriously, I not you know I'm not. I'm just saying it's horrible. Like, and I feel bad for the businesses. So anyway, I don't feel this vibe of the Liberals are going to fix Canada. I don't feel it at all. I think, like I said about Trudeau, is like he got the pressure cooker up to here. He did everything he could to implement their agenda, and he took all the brunt. And now he getting rid of them, put the pressure cooker down. And now Carney's going to put it back up, and then he's going to smash us. Instead of leave, he's going to smash us. When we say, hey, hang on, maybe we shouldn't do this. But we'll see. Like, there's so much things that can go wrong. Like, the immigration, the social tension with that, the economy, the housing, the U.S., like, who knows what Trump's real deal is. And I don't know. I don't know either. It could be a big. Speaking of Trump, he's the big thing with him is like he's talking about tariffs, but the big thing is wars now, and obviously wars affect us all. So in Ukraine, it seems like the globalists who are, hate Russia, I guess, and want to just like dismantle it like into little bits. Um, they're determined to keep this war going against Russia and even expanding it. There's like desperate. They're so eager to put like even troops, and they're raising their military budget, huge, huge. And I guess Canada's apparently we're going to go along with it. Like they want to like double their military spending, and fair enough. They want to rely less on the U.S., but it sounds like they're getting ready for World War III, so we got to keep an eye on that. But Ukraine and Russia, they're still bombing the hell out of each other. So hopefully that doesn't get expanded, but they want to expand it. The Europeans and I'm sure parts in the States do too. I don't know how eager Trump is. And then on the other front with Iran, again, Israel's been trying to get Iran attacked for years, and I'm surprised hasn't happened yet, to be honest. So Trump's negotiating with them right now, and he's saying to Israel, "Don't bomb them," because Israel wants to bomb their nuclear sites, and Trump is like saying, "Don't bomb them," and it's hard to know if Trump really doesn't want. I don't think he wants to fight Iran because it's going to be a big mess. But I think, or he could be just saying he's like trying to negotiate, and then once the negotiations fail, he can say he tried, and now he's going to bomb them. Who knows what he's going to? I don't know. Obviously, having a war in the Middle East is not ideal. So that's what I'm hoping is he's for that outcome. So between those two wars, though, I mean, pretty serious, I think. People seem to think it's not a big deal. I'm not. Look, and then who knows with China, that could spring up. So the world's full of wars, I guess. But it's interesting. Not much you can do about it. But I know we can say we don't want it. We don't want to be a part of it. That's all you can really say. And that's it for now. I don't think so we'll just go to the daily thing. And that's it. Lots of stuff going on, but the fireworks haven't started yet. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Trump if the Israelis bomb Iran, like they're itching to do. I don't know. We'll see. We shall find out. Okay, the first drawer is a lot of Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson's getting mocked a lot late in the last couple of days because he was on the Jubilee debate, and all these little kids were debating him and making him fun of him and calling him out, and he was kind of getting flustered, and it's pretty funny how Jordan's defenders are coming out to say how unfair and mean they're being to Jordan Peterson. I used to like Jordan Peterson because he had like a lot of young men who were like really, I guess, lost and whatever, looked up to him. Not me personally. Maybe when I was young, I should have read some of them, but I don't think he was around at that time. But a lot of young men were like reading him and relying on his advice, and he was calling out all the gay and like the LGBTQ, not the gay, the trans stuff, the LGBTQ and all that DEI crap. He was calling it out. So he's doing all that, and then he went to Daily Wire and he went all crazy. I think they MK altered him. Look at that. He's dressing like Two-Face now, which is cool. I kind of cool, but he's crazy now, I guess. I shouldn't say that, but he is a little. Yeah, he went to Daily Wire, and then he started getting all crazy, all pseudo-religious, but not. He wasn't a Christian, but he was right on to this religious stuff. And and then the Gaza thing happened, and he was totally like give him hell Netanyahu and totally blocking people for like objecting to blowing up kids. So he kind of did it to himself. But that's what happens when you take the money from the Daily Wire, and Daily Wire's in trouble too. But it's like I was a fan of Jordan Peterson until he blocked me for asking about dead kids in Gaza. It's so fuck this guy now. That's what I say. He cries all the time. He gets addicted to drugs. His daughter's kind of a whore, and he's an atheist. Bastion of masculinity. Okay, that's all we have to say on Jordan Peterson. Next is, this is the thing about the interprovincial trade. It's not going to happen. It's just all talk. So they say, Mark Carney has no intention to pass legislation removing interprovincial trade barriers by Canada today, despite stating over and over again on the campaign trail that this was his goal. So it says, when I asked the PMO about this, they confirmed their intention is only to introduce, not pass, trade legislation by Canada, and they noted that the LPC platform only promised to bring forward legislation by July. Well, nothing's going to happen. The Manitoba smokes are still going to be more. Okay. Next post. Seeing a lot of this. And now, I make a point. This is I guess a surveillance shot of some sexual offender. I wonder what. Anyway, if it's whatever ethnicity, any sexual, I post, but I would post. I don't care who it is, but it seems to be the same kind of same demographic, at least lately. And I don't think they pick and choose, you know. It's pretty well whoever, like whenever they have one of these, they send it out. So anyway, Calgary's gone to shit too. I don't know. Calgary police are searching for a man accused of sexually assaulting and robbing a woman in a northeast Calgary hotel room earlier this month. The incident took place around 3 p.m. on May 16th at the Acclaim Hotel on Freeport Boulevard. Police say the man met the woman in the hotel room and soon after threatened her with a knife, demanding cash, her cell phone, and access to the room's safe. He allegedly restrained the woman and sexually assaulted her multiple times before fleeing with cash and her phone. That's weird. Who knows what happened in that situation? Let's see some comments. I love the comments. Brown Invader does Brown Invader. That thing's okay. Diversity. Oh, gosh. Deport. All right. I mean, it does happen a lot in India. It's kind of is the rape capital of the world. Okay. Next post. This thing is interesting, and this is someone put a video. They were in Niagara Falls, and they put a video of how multicultural Niagara Falls is now. And then some liberal got triggered and said, "Breaking news: tourists are found at tourist destinations." So basically, she's saying you're just a racist for commenting on it. And, these are just tourists. But let's see where this Kira person is from. 2.2 million followers. Holy shit. It doesn't say where she's from. Anyway, what she doesn't know is, okay, so this is Niagara Falls. Hold on. Hold on here. Hold on. What happened? Anyway, you get the picture here. Anyway, I've been to Niagara Falls, and I don't plan on going back for a long time because it was horrible. Like, everything's like so overpriced. Like, to go for breakfast for 4 or 5 two adults and a few kids, it was like over $100. It was ridiculous. Just everything's so priced gouged, and there was so many like tourists. There were lots of Indian tourists. That's fine, I guess. But there's also like tons of like the hotel, the government for a long time now. The Canadian government's been putting lots of refugees and migrants in hotel rooms in for some reason in Niagara Falls. I guess there's a lot of hotel rooms there. That's why. But anyway, so basically they're in Niagara Falls and they get like a food voucher and a room, right? So these guys are just walking around Niagara Falls because, what else are they going to do? And that's not, why would you do that to your premier tourist attraction, Niagara Falls? Because, they want to destroy Canada, maybe. So, yeah, I wouldn't go back to Niagara Falls because it's like, it's crowded, it's full of Indians, I'm not going to lie, and the prices are sky high ripoff. So, yeah, R.I.P. Niagara Falls, in my opinion. So, where's the... Yeah. So, but there was a picture here. Um, yeah, that's the story I was talking about. Housing asylum seekers at Niagara hotels cost Canada more than $100 million annually. So, why, you want to ruin your whole tourist attraction by putting like the hotel rooms full of asylum seekers and migrants at the taxpayers' expense? I don't know how the Niagara Falls mayor ever agreed to that, but he did. He's probably a liberal. So there's another example I was talking about. Like, we're getting your air conditioner broken into now. So if you, oh my God, I can't believe that. Now that the news story's out, I saw the news story on City TV about the Durham air conditioners getting broken into. So now all the crackheads and that are gonna hear that and they're gonna say, let's get some air conditioners. But that's Niagara Falls for you. It's screwed. Okay.
Completely.
Next. Um, if some interesting comments too. I say a lot about Israel on this on my channel, and some interesting comments as recently as May. Uh, this is from the Prime Minister of Israel, and this is like who people in Canada are politicians like Pierre Poilievre and all the pro-Zionist people here support. It's like Netanyahu to a lawmaker on May 11th. Netanyahu to lawmakers that Israel's war in Gaza is intended to render large parts of the territory uninhabitable, forcing Palestinians to flee. We're destroying more and more homes they have nowhere to return to. Uh, So yeah, that's pretty evil. This is from a prime minister. It's not just some Yahoo on X or Facebook. Here's another one. 1 month into the war, Agriculture Minister Avi Dichter says we are now rolling out the Gaza Nakba, explicitly referencing the 1948 expulsion of more than 700,000 Palestinians from their land. In December 23, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich stated that what needs to be done in the Gaza Strip is to encourage emigration, and that having 100,000 or 200,000 Arabs in Gaza and not 2 million. So yeah, basically ethnic cleansing. So just evil. Even Trump can't. I don't think Trump's bought and paid for by the Zionist regime there, and even he can't stomach them, I think. Okay. Next, another example why Canada's screwed is footage goes viral of a bus driver playing games on his phone during a route from Edmonton to Calgary with the Canada bus. So yeah, not only do the truck drivers in Canada kill people because they don't know how to drive and their trucks are falling apart, but now we got bus driver guys ready to kill a whole bus load of people because he's playing Candy Crush. And I was like, you know why this guy has the job? I'll tell you right now. Some guy, some 30-year-old guy born in Canada could do this job standing on his head, and he could do a great job. The reason he doesn't do it is because probably the pay is garbage, and it's on a downward spiral, like benefits and all that. So they got this guy to do it. Now look at this. Can you imagine if you're the passenger here? Like, this should be, and he won't get fired. He'll probably get a talking to. Let's see this. Where is this anyway? This is Edmonton to Calgary. So another Alberta. Look at this. This is nuts. I don't know how they do shit in India, but that's not how we're supposed to operate here. Oh, you got a point. That's crazy. That's a nice bus. Look how nice that bus is.
I know you sorry.
Nice big control panel there. This is nuts. And, you know, I'll tell you, that's why they hired this guy. Is because the pay, the benefits are on a downward trend because you got millions of immigrants and lots of labor competition. So of course, why should it's not worth some guy to go? He can't support his family. I'm just, you know, I can't understand why all these guys are getting these jobs. DEI Canada, I guess. All right, next post. This is the Trump question on. So basically, Trump, the story here is Trump is in negotiations with Iran to avoid a war. And he's telling Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu to not take any actions that could disrupt the talks. So basically bombing Iran, Israel bombing Iran without American approval or a go-ahead. So this is what he said.
And no trust. I don't trust anybody.
Just back on Iran. Did you warn Prime Minister Netanyahu against taking some sort of actions that could disrupt the talks there in a phone call last week?
Well, I'd like to be honest. Yes, I did. Next question, please.
Mr. President, just last on sanctions.
I did, yeah.
If Senate Republicans want to push
It's
forward.
not a warning. I said I don't think it's appropriate.
What exactly did you tell him? Did
I
you
just
caution
said
him?
I don't think it's appropriate. We're having very good discussions with him, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now. Because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors, we can take whatever we want, we can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? Two ways of doing it. Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment, could change with a phone call. But right now, I think they want to make a deal, and if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
So yeah, that should be interesting if the Iran war happens or not. Lots of question marks. Lots of question marks. Next post. This was a banger. Blacklock's reporter. They do a lot of good reporting. Bank of Canada has confirmed that 1 million foreign students allowed into Canada by the Liberal government accounted for a large 1 million foreign students. Oh my God. So 10 million, 10% of 40 million is 4 million. So it's a good chunk, a little chunk of the population. Anyway, the Bank of Canada has confirmed that the 1 million foreign students allowed into Canada by the Liberal government accounted for a larger share of workers in low-skilled occupations, replacing Canadian-born workers. Yeah, such a joke. So, like I said, I think Trudeau was put in there to pump in those numbers for 10 years, take all the heat, then he gets kicked out, and then Carney comes in and he's like, oh, I'll only bring in 1.5 million each year, but only 300,000 at PR. See how the trickery goes? So they already flooded in enough immigrants who will get the millions that are here that will get PR, permanent residence. Plus, they're going to bring in hundreds of thousands each year. Plus, when you count all the visas and refugees and students and temporary workers, you got over 1 million. So they're all going to vote Liberal. So what you just ensured even is a Liberal majority forever. And all you had to do was put all the blame on Justin Trudeau, who did it for 10 years, all the hard, nasty work. And here we are. And I see it every day. It's over almost. So, yeah, even the Bank of Canada admits it. Wow. So, yeah, I'm not too enthusiastic about the Carney thing. It's only, I think, like I said, Trudeau's the guy to come in and burn everything, take the blame. Now Carney comes in, closes the deal. And that's what people vote for. But I know what I'm voting for, not this. So that's all I did today on Twitter. Not a lot of good news. Kind of matched the day outside. So we'll get back at it tomorrow. And hopefully we'll have some sunny days ahead. Who knows what other crazy stuff will happen in this year. It's only not even half over. It's already been pretty eventful. So, until tomorrow night, have a nice night. And we'll talk to you later. Thank you.